Hello, everybody. Hopefully our audio is okay. Please let us know in the chat if you guys can hear us okay before we go any further. Yes, no, maybe. I think there's a slight delay in
Yeah,
this chat.
Yeah.
All good? Cool. All right. Well, I guess we'll
Perfect.
start with some introductions. My name is Nasher, and this is Nish. And today we will be quote unquote reviewing some resumes. So we will go ahead and before we go any further, please sign into the event. The QR code is slightly covered by Nish's face on the stream. So there is also the QR code in the bottom right. It's the exact same QR code. So if you do want to sign in, feel free. It does count towards like your LER if you're a Laurier student. So it's pretty recommended that you sign in. It's kind of a good idea. So yeah. But I'll leave that on for like 2 more seconds and then we will go. Next slide. So I guess we'll introduce ourselves, like who we are as people. So I'm Nasher. I'm a fifth year computer science and applied math student at Laurier, and I'm one of the people on the admin team, the VP of Ops and Internal Affairs. And as for my experience with like just in general in tech, obviously for critiquing resumes, we should have something to back it up at least. I have done a few internships here and there at one at Magnet Forensics, which is a company in Waterloo, and 2 terms at Shopify as a software engineer. So, Nish?
Perfect. Hey everyone, my name is Nish, and I'm the VP of Strategy here at LCS. A fifth-year computer science student here at Laurier, also doing a management option. And a little bit about my internship experience. I've done 5 internships so far, up until now, and majority of them I've been working with a company called OpenText. So I've jumped around quite a bit, working with like 4 different teams, going from QA to backend, and now as a machine learning engineer. And then I've also done software engineer front end at TD.
Pretty big dub. So this is our agenda we'll be going over today. So we'll be going over a very general, like 5 minute little feedback, some advice on resumes. And if you guys do have questions while we're talking, anytime throughout the event, just feel free to type in something in the chat. We'll be going over some very basic do's and don'ts on the resumes. Then we'll be going over some of the submissions that we received on our type form for general members, and we'll just be giving very constructive criticism and some critiques here and there. And then we'll be roasting the LCS execs resumes that they submitted, like really going in, being funny. And then at the very end, if people do have any remaining questions, we can answer those. But yeah, pretty simple. So these are kind of like the 3 big things that recruiters look for in resumes. There's a lot more in depth in this, and we'll like talk about it after this. But the 3 big things are relevant experience. So a lot of recruiters, when they look at it like a job, they post a job description. They ideally want the candidates who are applying to that job to also have like experience pertaining to that role. So if it is like a software engineering role with a specialty in like AI or computer graphics or something, ideally you want to have some sort of project or some sort of work experience from before that kind of echoes that you kind of have familiarity with that technology already. Nish, you have anything all of that? Not really, right? But it is a lot more complicated than that. Obviously, if you don't have any work experience, like maybe tailoring projects towards that. And obviously, some jobs are very different than others. So if you do want to like edit your resume, like to certain jobs and tailor it, that's like highly recommended too. Personally, I'm a bit lazy, so I don't do that as much as I should. But it is recommended, like, maybe if you're into AI and computer graphics and cybersecurity, maybe having like 3 general resumes that are tailored to those things specifically if you do have enough like content to fill it up with. But yeah. Next thing is readability and organization. This is a big one, actually. Like, I think it's one of the biggest ones, and it's also the most simple one. Your resume should look clean and well organized and formatted nicely, making it like easy to read, making sure you don't have basic spelling mistakes, making sure things are capitalized, making sure all the text follows the same format. And like honestly, it's kind of like I don't really have to explain this too much. Like if you see 2 people writing essays and one of them looks really nicely written and formatted, and the other one has like spelling mistakes and random spaces, then obviously you're not gonna like that one. So kind of given there. And then the very last thing is keywords and numbers. So a lot of jobs, we also talked about like tailoring your experience, but also it is ideal to tailor some sort of set of keywords in your resume too towards certain jobs. So if you're applying to a job that says that you should have like experience in React and like maybe JavaScript, and maybe a couple other UI frameworks and libraries. It is ideal to maybe add those keywords into your resume. You kind of should already have those if you are familiar with React. Like if you're familiar with the technology listed on your resume, especially if it is like a big hot topic type library. But yeah, it is a good idea to incorporate keywords and stuff from your job that you're looking at onto your resume. A lot of these resumes go through an automated process before they get to recruiters. It's not as strict as it used to be. People will tell you that like resumes will automatically get thrown out if they don't hit like 700 keywords from the job description, like or something crazy like that. It's not that big of a deal, but it's just like they're called applicant tracking systems, ATS systems, and they'll just like if there's a resume that has a lot of keywords that match the job description and is very like tailored to that, it'll just like rank it slightly higher, so the recruiter will look at it first most likely. But that doesn't mean your resume will just get thrown out. So don't like get into the whole habit of like stuffing keywords into your resume. Back in the day, there used to be a thing where like people used to write like hundreds and hundreds of keywords on the resume, and then making it the same color as the background color. And even in the co-op program at Laurier, they tell you not to do this too, because you can get in trouble like with your job if they like find out that you did that and they'll fire you. But it ends up hitting like every single keyword in every single job. It's kind of sus, so just don't do that. But yeah, that's kind of like very, very basic general advice. We'll go into more details too later as we're looking at resumes, but did you have anything to add? Nothing. Cool. Solid. So moving on. Okay, now we'll get into the actual portion of the the whole like stream where we actually review people's resumes. Sorry. So these are all anonymized, so we won't be like calling people out or anything. And hopefully people can see that Microsoft like PDF page. So let me know in the chat if it's clear and easy to read. I can zoom in as well. But this is our first resume. As you can see, the colors are not bad. Also, Nish, feel free to like chime in while I'm talking as well, right? If you want to chime in. So as they obviously like some things here are like omitted, like first name, last name, job position, all these things are like omitted. So like ideally you can just imagine there's being actual data there. But I'm just gonna quickly read through this. Phone number. So they have all their contact information in the top right, which is good. Ideally, you want to have like all the basic stuff, like your city that you're in, your LinkedIn and your GitHub if you have one, and if you don't, you should probably get on that. Having your email too, and ideally a nice email, not something like like xyzw1234@mylaurier.ca. Like if you have that on your resume, just look as professional as like something like nosher at share.tech or something like your own personal website, or even like a Gmail that just has a proper name in it is fine as well. But having like Nebula Killer XXX@gmail.com as your your Xbox gamer tag as your email is probably not ideal. So yeah. Anyway,
another thing here I wanted to add on was so I know we have a town name here, Ontario. Another thing is just avoid putting your actual full address. Just keep it as like city and province. I see a lot of people putting like their actual street number and address. Just don't do that. Like no.
That's weird. Yeah. Like some people might tell you like make sure you include your whole address, but like don't do that. I know I think some schools tell you that too, but it's really not a good idea. They don't care what street you live on. They're not gonna like like target you or whatever. Anyway, this person has their education at the very top, which is always a good thing. Can we move the video of you two guys to see the whole resume? Sure. I don't know where to put the video really.
Top right.
Top right, I guess, but that also covers some of it. But so this is what top right looks like. 1 second. There we go. Cool. I guess it looks slightly better. Not really, but hey. Cool. Anyway, this person has their education at the very top, which is always good. Not because the school you go to matters, but more so they know that you completed a degree. Like 99.9% of the time, no one gives a shit what school you go to, but they do care that you have a degree in the thing you're applying to. So if you're applying to a computer science job or like a software engineering job, obviously if you have a computing related degree, that's great. They also have their GPA here, that's fine too. People are opinionated about this too. Like if you have a lot of experience and a lot of things in your resume, then it's totally fine to omit your GPA. Most people don't ever ask about your GPA ever. Like I don't know Nish, but I've never been asked my GPA ever once. After applying to like hundreds and hundreds of jobs. So but yeah, it's always if you do want to include that, it's totally fine, especially if it's really high. The one thing I would recommend is to like there's like 4 different scales of GPA. There's like the 12-point GPA, the 5-point, the 4-point, and the 4.3. So if you are gonna write your GPA, maybe write what it's out of, just to make it easier for whoever's looking at it to know like, oh, it's a 3.9 out of 4, not 3.9 out of 12 or 3.9 out of 5. So just to maybe specify just people don't get confused. Moving on, they also have their projects on the top left here, which is great. Um, so they listed all the technologies that they used here, the name of the project, which is always great. One thing I tell people is like it's always good to give projects names, even if they are something small. It just shows that you're like a bit more creative than calling your app like React's tutorial or something like that. You know, like give it an actual name, give it some personality. It shows that you can like think critically and like business orientedly. So that's a good thing too. They have their date here or like when they worked on it to when. One thing I'm seeing is like, for example, they have the date here like as a period of time from March to present, but then here and here they only have 1 month with a year. Just to keep that consistent, like I guess this is fine. It's not like the worst thing in the world, especially in this specific example. But if you do want to like maybe keep it for like the exact same, either include these all as periods or include these as like end dates or something, whatever, or start dates. Yeah, you can figure that out on your own. But yeah. Otherwise, their bullet points themselves are not bad. I'm just reading through these real here. Hopefully, people can see on stream the text well enough too. But some of these like bullet points are fine. They're okay, I'd say. But one thing you get taught in like a lot of different co-op programs on like Reddit, wherever you look, you'll be taught about either STAR or CAR. I like to use the CAR abbreviation. I think it's easier to explain. Challenge, action, result. So every single one of your bullet points should have a challenge that you like identified, an action you performed to solve that challenge, and a result to show like how that action like actually did something. But most of the time you won't have all three, especially for a personal project. You won't have like results, but probably because you haven't like released it to the public, for example. Because results are usually numerical data or some sort of like analytics, or they can be like a percentage or something relative as well. But having at least two of those for every bullet point is ideal. This kind of the first bullet point has kind of a challenge and an action. Like the challenge here is like getting the user's GPS coordinates, and then the action is they stored it in a local database. Very crude and basic bullet point, I'd say. Like why do they do it? What was the data used for? What type of database did they use? Why did they choose that database? How much data did they end up storing? How many users did they have? Like all these things could be added into this first bullet point. For the second one, calculates the average latitude and longitude for 1 point, reducing the impact of outliers. Like, okay, but why? Like, I don't really care from that bullet point. I don't have a reason to care about why. So maybe giving some sort of like insight into why you're doing that, what it'll achieve, or like how many you did. And then the third point is coordinates can also be recorded continuously. Like again, that's just a statement. Like it's not something I should like as a recruiter. Like I'm just gonna be like okay and move on. Like it won't affect me in any way. And it's just a waste of space at that point. So if you can like probably combine that with like the point above it, and then even increase the point above to like be a full car point, you could definitely do that. In the last one, coordinates can also be exported to a CSV file, making the process of importing coordinates into Google Earth easier. So this is like a better bullet point because it's showing that, oh, like I'm making this to interact with something else. I found a problem with importing into Google Earth and I made it easier. So that's good. You're like identifying a problem, showing that you identified a problem and showing how you solved it. Again, you could probably go into a bit more detail, but out of all those bullet points, I think that's probably the best one you have. Some of the other ones here, like all the bullet points around this resume have like similar kind of things. For example, so this job right here, for example, is way better of an example, I'd say. Job 1, successfully upsold. Obviously, it's a bakery job, so like maybe it's not the most technical thing in the world, sure, but it still shows that you can like know how to use car. Successfully upsold baked goods to customers, which generated an extra 25% income on average. Great, you have a result there. You have an action that you upsold stuff. Your challenge would be like you needed to sell stuff, so that's good. You can even improve it even more by maybe adding a definitive number. Like obviously, if you can't think of any numbers, a percentage is fine. It's okay, but having like a concrete number to base that off of is also great. Like how much is that 25%? Was it 30,000 more revenue per year? Like what was it? Maybe that ended up bringing in 10 more people in the door maybe per day or something. Like numbers like that are always great because it shows that you actually saw the result and thought about it rather than just like sticking an arbitrary percentage on. So Nish, you wanna point some things out too here?
I'm gonna let you continue on like more of the descriptive things. I had more of a UI perspective, so I'll come back on that.
Sure, yeah. Okay, cool. This Other job experience right here. Sold a total of 128 summer passes as well as thousands of daily passes. Great. That's really cool. I don't know what for. Like I'm sure, like specifically since there's no job position or job title, it's kind of for me like annoying for me to figure out what this is. But like maybe like this is already fine. Maybe explaining a target demographic would be nice. Talking about how you could maybe, if this is like a day camp for kids or something, it shows that you maybe worked with kids, which is already really hard. Like kids are annoying, so being able to like, or maybe with the elderly, because that's always a challenge too. Stuff like that is always good too, showing like you can work with different demographics of people. On busy days, efficiencies increased by 100% by opening an extra lane if possible. Okay, bit of a stretch to say 100%. I'll be honest. That's like crazy efficiency. Like that's like no one's waiting in line at all. Everyone's getting through straight away. So I wouldn't bullshit that much for saying 100%, but I would definitely give numbers maybe like by saying this many extra. Like we had the lines got shorter by like 10 people per hour or something. Like stuff like that. And obviously these are non-technical jobs, so this isn't as applicable to computer science specifically. But having like if you don't have any experience, showing that you worked some sort of job in your life, especially retail jobs because they're hard, like that shows that you're like patient and you're like you know how to listen to people. That's always a good idea, especially for your first internship and you're looking for it. Because a lot of the time they just recruiters only care about you being able to work in a team and being able to be patient with people. So the fact that you worked like at a bakery and a grocery store is like already pretty applaudable. So otherwise, what else do we have here? We have extracurriculars, which is great. Extracurriculars are always 100% amazing. Like, good job on doing those. Maybe again, I'm assuming this is like either you forgot to update this, or you just haven't bothered, or you just like edited it for the resume roast. But obviously, filling this in would be great. Having some awards here or some like things that you won or you participated in was great. To add on, maybe some hackathons that you may have participated in too. Stuff like that would be nice too. And then very last thing is the skills and tools section. Always good to have. The one thing recruiters do know, even if they're not technical, are the names of different programming languages. And they do know that React is good, JavaScript is good, Python is good. Like they know the basic things and they know that those are like kind of nice because they don't know much else, right? They're not technical people. So having all those here is great. Having it sorted by like languages and technologies is good. Some of the more, I'll zoom in here a bit just in case people can't see. Let me just scroll down a bit. But some of these more like generic terms, I would say, like some of these are good, like Discord bot development. Maybe talk about which library you used. Did you use Discord JS? Did you use Discord Pi? Did you use a Rust one? Like just maybe specify that. You can also, because of that, you can also include REST APIs as a keyword here too, because REST APIs are like really hot. It's just like REST APIs are just any API usually that you interact with, but having that on your resume is like really hot, and resumes love that. Recruiters love that word, so maybe including that. Customer service, sure, like that's not like it's not. I wouldn't say it's a negative thing to have there, but I don't think it matters much either. It's like more of a soft skill. If you're gonna include one soft skill, you might as well include a few or none. I would say probably. And then databases, like what type of databases are we talking? Are we talking like SQL or NoSQL databases? If you use Mongo, Postgres, if you use Firebase, like what are we talking? Be more specific there, I'd say. And also with mobile application development, like did you use Swift and Xcode? Did you use Android Studio? Did you use React Native? Like what library did you use to do mobile development? Because again, those are also all keywords that are really important, like Android SDK, React Native. Those are all like really cool keywords you can include on here. But as a very crude overview, I think for me that's everything. Nish, what did you want to say?
Yeah. So, I wanted to just talk about the overall layout of this. So I feel like just at the very top, like the first name, last name part, like the heading section, is a little too big. I feel like make it a bit smaller and list your context like a little like linear or horizontally, just because you'll get more space to add more things there. I just feel like that section is a little too large and you're wasting a little too much space. So you could think about that. That'll give you more space to write about or expand on other things. Another thing is consistency. So I'm seeing like some some positions have 4 bullet points, other have 3. Try to keep it consistent. The overall structure actually looks really nice then. Like recruiters really like that when everything's just like all symmetrical, not like yeah, symmetrical or like organized throughout the resume. Another thing I can point out is I like to do dates by the first 3 letters of the month. So when you do June, I would do JUN. 2022, and then to SCP 2023. And if you do that consistently, all the dates align together, just like how you have for job 2 and job 1, the town name aligned symmetrically. So that's another thing I wanted to point out.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the bottom part, just like the whole, because it looks like it's for the skill section. So if you have more room, you can expand on, like as Nasha said, the databases, the mobile applications development a bit more, just because you're listing it there. But like, you're not like talking about exactly what exactly you learned or have skill in.
Should the resume be separated like that in 2 columns or just one long column? So that's a question from chat. Okay, I'll give my take on this. Again, before we go move on, by the way, me and Nish have like a lot of experience talking to recruiters and stuff. We've had like a lot of communication with them. But at the end of the day, recruiters in general are very opinionated on every single thing you ask them. You can take 100 recruiters, ask them the same 5 questions, and they'll all give you completely different answers. So there's not one right answer, but there's like a majority answer usually, or some sort of like, there's some things that are 50-50. For your question specifically, some recruiters will say that they hate 2 columns, and some will say that they don't get it at all, and some people say they like it. I think just do whatever you think looks fine and matches what your type of UI looks like, your like layout looks like. I wouldn't say there's one right or wrong. The one thing I would say for this specific one is not having the 2 columns 50-50. Most resumes, including my personal one too, there's like a main column. So like if I were to like draw this out, it would take up like this much of the page maybe, and then the secondary column would like take up this much of the page, and then you would have like maybe skills listed here, and you'd have all your main bullet points for all your work experience and all your projects here. That's an example. But 50-50, like this resume, is a bit, I wouldn't say like the best use of columns, but yeah. Nish, what do you think?
I actually used to do a 2 column, just exactly like I had a exact resume like this. I personally like this last touch of it. I talked to a bunch of recruiters; they're 50-50 on it too. Um, Personally, some recruiters said like the sometimes depending on how you format a 2 column, they're not friendly to ATS machines or the ATS scan. So that's why I avoided doing it. But I just feel like more of a linear horizontal is just much cleaner and gives you more space.
Exactly. Even there, like Nish is 1 column guy, I'm a 2 column guy. So it is like very 50-50. If you are going to go 2 columns though, I would recommend having the main column with maybe your projects and your work experience. And then having everything that's easily listable in bullet points or short form on the secondary column. So education is perfect. That's something that you can literally like, you can just move this section a bit to the right and it becomes like that secondary column. Having all your skills could also be a secondary column if you don't expand on them, as well as your extracurriculars if you don't expand on those. So yeah, that's what I would say. But what do you think, Nish? Move on to the next one.
I think we're
Cool.
good to move
All
on.
right, I'll let you start off with this next resume, but you take some time to read it ourselves too. So give us a minute.
Yeah. So I'll just quickly go through this. Okay, so it looks like we got a it's a little bit of symmetry throughout. Okay, another thing. So we are getting so some bullet points. There's 4 bullet points other than 3, so that could be something to work on for consistency. So we have skills at the top, work experience, projects and experiences, and education. Um, yeah, overall, like how it's structured, like this is like a well put together resume because I'm guessing like at the top would be your name, and then the second line will be all your information, email, stuff like that. It's cool that you have a little like a quote, I guess you could say, or like a um introduce yourself about. And then we go with the skills, so technical skills. So it's good that another thing when you do technical skills, I highly recommend putting the skills that you're well like proficient in order. So I'm guessing this person is well equipped with JavaScript, and then HTML, CSS, and then as you go. And then also, I guess you put languages as well. That's another thing you could put. Another thing I would recommend for this resume is because I'm guessing if you're working with like you could split it up. You could do coding language or programming languages. So have that in one line, and then do like frameworks. So then you can throw Django and Angular there, and then you can also put libraries like Tailwind in another section as well.
One thing I would say, by the way,
Um,
sorry to cut you off, but If you are doing the short form dates, by the way, the rule for not even just like resumes, but for in general, is that the months of March, April, May, June, and July shouldn't be abbreviated because they're too short. I also googled it to double check myself, but when you're writing in English, March, April, May, June, July are never abbreviated. So if you have like June, May, well, May obviously you can't, but June, for example, you'd write JUNE, not just JUN, for example. But yeah, that's one thing I wanted to note.
Perfect. Okay, so now let's take a little dive quickly onto the bullet points. So we have led, build, and developed a high performance HMI. So one thing I don't like is like when you're throwing a lot of action verbs in the first sentence, like putting all three at once. I feel like just stick with one or two. That's it. Just don't be like, hey, X, Y, and Z, and then there's like you have so many, just overfilled. That underwent usability and safety testing from the ground up. As Masha said before, I feel like numbers could be added here. As we talked about the car method or the star, you want to talk about a quick challenge that you had. So I'm guessing the challenge could be that you had to develop this HMI. What action did you take? What exactly? And then what was the result? So I feel like you're missing the result in this one. So that could be something you could add. Catalog the HMI that facilitated the operation and advancement of the machine. Also very vague. It's like it's building on the previous bullet point, but I feel like you could expand on more of that. You wrote 70 plus new releases in a 20-week period under daily deadlines for different machine components. You got to explain further what kind of releases, like, because like for me, it's just like some sort of releases here. So that's something you could expand on, and you got a lot of room here too. So feel free to expand on these bullet points as well. Okay, let's go to the projects.
One sec as well. One more thing I wanted to add in. Please, for bullet points, if you're writing like sentence bullet points, have to be ended with a period. I know people say when you have a list of items, you don't add a period at the end. That's for a list of items, but these are bullet points of sentences, which still are like you still need periods. So like just having periods all on like, every single one of these sentences should have a period on it at the end of it. But yeah.
So we'll come back to the Pods program. Created a full stack web application in the Pods program with a team of 5 to track a programming's learning progress. That's good. You could talk about like exactly what that web application is made in. I know you talked about that in the second point, but you can bring that up in the first one bullet point as well. Followed MVC design patterns across the development lifecycle, and you developed the UI with Django, JavaScript, and Tailwind CSS, which resulted in fast and responsive user interface. Okay, that is actually really good. I like how you bolded the actual frameworks and languages that you use, which is can bolded it to the reader or like the recruiter itself. But like, okay, sweet, they've used this. That looks good, and then which resulted in a fast and responsive user interface. Add some numbers there too. That sentence is really good. You could add some numbers there on how fast and responsive from the previous interface that you had. Structured design system for the application with Figma, which improved the efficiency of front-end development by 50%. So that's another one. You're using numbers there, which is really good. You talk about what you did, or what you used, and the result of it, which is good. Not sure. Anything else you want to add on those?
One thing I marked is this LCS club thing right here. I know you're probably talking about like you want to show that the experience is related to the club. Don't need that. Very random, very weird and off-putting, so don't put that there. You already state that you're a member of Laurier Computing Society here. For this, I wouldn't maybe say specifically that you networked with the professionals. I just realized that my drawing wasn't... Okay, cool. Sorry about that. So one of the things here, like I wouldn't maybe talk about, like I guess you could, but I wouldn't recommend talking about the specific, like this bullet point right here. I wouldn't talk about specifically maybe just talk about the club itself and what events you attend and what people you meet and maybe like that. I don't know, but overall, everything looks good here. You have the GPA, cumulative GPA here. One more thing I would recommend is specifically at Laurier 2, we get a Bachelor of Science. So I would include the fact that it is a BSc here somewhere too. Because some people do get BAs at other universities. It's nice to show that you got a BSc. So I usually I have an honors BSc, computer science on my resume, I think, if I remember correctly. So I would always include that you have a Bachelor of Science in computer science. Otherwise, yeah, that's everything for me. So I guess we can move on, eh?
move on. Let's do it.
Cool. We're being told that we're slow, but the first few will be slow, and then we'll pick up on speed. So don't worry too much. So this resume right here, it's gonna take a minute to look at it. Oh, it's a 2-pager. Oh, whoa. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
First,
Okay.
go on, actually, yeah.
Right off the bat for me, when I see this, like when I'm visually looking at a resume, what bothers me and what bothers a recruiter when I've spoken with them is like the consistency and like the overall layout of the design. So I'm seeing your key skills having bullet points not matching with the rest of the thing, the page, which bothers me because if you look at a resume just like that, it's gonna look so weird that you have bullet points all over the place and nothing's aligned perfectly. So keep that in mind. Another thing is like it kind of hurts my eyes when I see like the Shoppers Drug Mart part time in January or the date all in one line. Let's spread them out a bit. More like something from the previous resumes that we've seen. Some of them like the usually your the company name or the actual position will be left aligned, and then the location and the dates will be right aligned of the page. So just keep that in mind.
Also, unless you explain, your recruiter's not gonna know what locus is. So don't just write locus. No one knows who that. No one outside Laurier knows what locus is. So if you're gonna use abbreviations, unless they're common, like IBM for example is obviously common, don't just write abbreviations. Like explain what they are if you need to, if they're important enough at least. Another thing, a lot of white space on the sides here. 2-page resumes are usually always looked down upon for people who are in university, and the reasoning is that it's not because it's a bad thing to have a 2-page resume. It's actually a very good thing to have a 2-page resume. The reason is that most people in university don't have enough things to warrant a 2-page resume. That's the reason a lot of people tell you don't have a 2-page resume. So this specifically, like you could definitely condense all of this into a 1-pager. Not all of these experiences need huge explanations. For example, like some of these things can be, especially if they're high school things, like they can be compressed. They don't need to be so drawn out. But yeah. Another thing here, like I think Nish mentioned it, but I'm just gonna reiterate. I don't know if he said, but having like all this information on one line is crazy. Like company, a type of like position, date, or like company, position, city, date. It's also not consistent. Like this one doesn't have a city. Just like that's very like stressful to look at for me personally. Do you have anything else, Nish, too?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I would just say like you can all like I would rework this completely, into some also like for example right here force, the word force should be capitalized. Small things like that too are very like they seem small, but it's like a thing where like if you paid attention and like you were really like attention to detail oriented, you would notice that and edit it too. Also,
Yeah, I just over. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
one more thing someone mentioned in the chat is experiences aren't in order. Very true. January to April, May to August. Yeah, like this, for example, should be higher than this because it ends way later. Also, one thing is you don't always have to have them in order. You can always have the most important thing at the top and then have the rest in order. But in this case, the most important thing is not Shoppers Drug Mart. It would probably be an IT internship or like a full-time job like this. So I would ideally move this to the very top because it is the most recent and the most important probably out of your 3 work experiences. So
Overall, I think before we move on, I think one last thing I want to add is that this resume, like you've got the experience. There's a lot of content in here. It just needs to be organized well, and it's going to be like a really good resume to start off with. So you got a lot of content. Just organize it nicely, make it readable, and you'll be good to go from there. And then you can work on the content later on.
especially like for example, this experience that's really old. This is a grade 10 high school experience. Does not need to be a whole thing. Like it can be a little bullet point with like 5 words maybe. So yeah. Anyway, moving on.
We have another question in the chat. Can we still submit resumes to get review?
No.
Unfortunately, not. No, it's gonna be a little too much work for us to get that going.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Cool.
Sorry about that.
Now we have Jane Doe. Right off the bat, all the things at the very top, important information, phone number, email, GitHub link, LinkedIn. Great. Perfect. Nice. Very easy to see. The most important information first. They have their education at the very top too. One Let me quickly scroll through this.
Real quick, sorry, can we go to the top real quick?
Yeah.
Just another thing. When you guys do hyperlinks, I see a lot of people do, and I used to do this too. People hyperlink LinkedIn like that, just LinkedIn. I avoid that. I know like we're in 2023, everyone's using computers to open up hyperlinks. However, just in case one day you're in person, you hand someone your resume and they just see a hyperlink there, then you're screwed. Like no one's opening your LinkedIn, it's gone. So what I recommend is actually using the LinkedIn URL, which is LinkedIn/in/username. So just put your username there, just like how you have the GitHub, and then someone can just copy that, and read it off paper easily.
Exactly. Or even if they just have a computer that's really old or like a PDF viewer that just can't process hyperlinks, that's a very common thing. Or some uploading software, when you upload your PDF, it'll strip all the URLs out of it for safety reasons because it's a works PC. Like it's just a very big accessibility thing. But yeah, if you do hyperlink it, make sure you can actually read the hyperlink too. Like GitHub/Jane Doe, perfect. It's not an actual URL, but I can be like, okay, GitHub.com/Jane Doe. I'll type that into Google real quick. Or LinkedIn or like even for LinkedIn, maybe have the LinkedIn icon and then have your username. Perfect too. So yeah. Moving on real quick. So we have a bunch of experiences listed. Again, the consistency with the dates is lacking there. Like this example is a very different format to this. A hackathon specifically, you don't have to have a period of time listed specifically. Sorry, I was reading. Yeah, like having the consistency and time period would be great. As well as I'm just reading through these as well. Nish mentioned this earlier, but the bolding of stacks, like technologies and stuff, perfect, great. Really catches your eye. You listed your like things that you're familiar with. Nullify, NumPy, cool, nice. And you have names for your projects, not just like, well, some of these obviously anime recommended dish finder app. Maybe you could give those cool names. Mentally, perfect name, cool name. So, just reading some of the bullet points. Otherwise, like yeah, these are good bullet points, not bad. Especially for like a more beginner resume. The layout is obviously like a Jake's resume layout, but that's fine, good to use. Same thing here. It's a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, and if you are a double degree, you have to you have an honors Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, and you have an honors. I don't know if it's honors, but you have a Bachelor of Business Administration. Those are two very big things that should be like. That's a very important thing to list, not just also like honors Bachelor of Computer Science, because your degree is not a Bachelor of Computer Science. It's a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, and your business, like you're just throwing that on there, but like those are two separate degrees that you're gonna get. So those should be like very big things that you should list separately as well. Like getting 2 degrees is like a flex, So yeah. Otherwise, yeah. Do you have anything else, Nish, before we move on?
No, I think this is overall like the layout is really nice. Just a few things here and there that we mentioned need to be fixed. That's it.
Also, Hawkx. I know you're on Hawkx. There's no space in Hawkx. That's one word. Anyway, next resume. Cool. So next resume here. So first of all, they're from Tilted Towers. It's not funny. Come on, buddy. Like, this is 2023, man. Come on. It's not funny. Anyway. I was reading the chat. Cool. So right off the bat, they have all the languages, tools, frameworks listed again at the very top. Very nice. Looks nice. I would probably again move my education to the top. I don't know that you have a degree. A lot of jobs require that you have a degree. If it's not at the top, like I don't want to have to scroll. It's like one of the basic things that you need to like actually like even be considered is, do you have a degree in this or that for most jobs? So yeah, that's one thing I would probably move to the very top, especially since it's a BS and geomatics with computer science option honors co-op. Like yeah, that's something you can move to the top. Another thing I noticed.
Okay.
Sorry, go on.
Quickly. So overall, the design's great, but the projects. I don't know if you need to put all projects are hyperlinked. Like put that because I can clearly see the hyperlinks right beside.
Say that one more time.
So if you go down to the projects,
Yeah.
he makes a little note saying all projects are hyperlinked. I don't know if that's like necessary to do that. Like you can probably remove that because the hyperlinks are right below.
True. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I would. Yeah. Consider reworking this specifically, but I like the emojis. By the way, I might steal that. I like that. Because resumes are boring to look at, so that's nice. One thing I did notice too is this time period thing again. Why is present lowercase? Sept should be sept. Or no, sorry. Is it? Yeah. I forgot. But look it up. Look up which ones are supposed to be abbreviated, which aren't. Some of these bullet points migrate 50 plus projects from Performance to GitLab by utilizing Ansible and CI pipelines, preserving all branches in branch history. Solid bullet point. Maybe talk about why you were told to do that, or like why you were given that project. So yeah, still good. Oh no, yeah, emojis are good. Sorry, I don't know if I misspoke, but I like the emoji idea. I'm gonna steal it too. But automated CI pipelines by streamlining the creation of new branches, build configurations, and release candidates using Python, and the GitLab TeamCity Jira REST API reduced task completion time from 5 minutes to 15 seconds. Great bullet point here. Only thing is like the formatting of these two units of time are like very mismatched. Also, the word min is bolded, but not the s. Like the 5 plus. Like if you're gonna be this specific about the seconds, you might as well be specific about the minutes too. Or maybe just keep it all in seconds to make it easy, because like what 350 seconds sounds a lot cooler than 5 minutes. Like from 350 seconds to 15 seconds, that sounds like a flex. So maybe you keep the units the same. Nish, anything you see else? Anything else to mention?
Hey, one quick thing. I'm gonna come back to the hyperlinks. Should they be? Do you think should they be hyperlinked in brackets, or should the hyperlink be on the right aligned, or should they be on the actual name of the project?
Oh, that's a good question. I think this is okay, but
It's okay, but I would prefer right aligned. I feel like because you have empty space there, just throw in the throw it over there. People can
yeah.
open the link from.
And also like the word, like you're saying personal portfolio and then repeating text saying full stack portfolio website. Maybe find a better way of doing the linking. Maybe using emojis, because again you're utilizing emojis, so maybe you could change it to a URL emoji, because these are all like, because like Quizzer and then full stack quiz application, Discord bot, personal Discord bot, like
Maybe just use the clip that he has at the top of the heading.
yeah.
Use that 3 times and then put it on the right side, and then
Yeah.
there you go.
One thing about putting stuff on the side for this specific example is that's a good idea to have like stuff on the right side. But one thing the recruiters will tell you is when you have stuff separate on the other side, that means that is an important piece of information, that because your eyes aren't naturally drawn to this side of the page, right? When you're scanning a document, you scan top to bottom, left to right. I was like, if you're from the west at least, and having this here implies that there's something here I should look at that's very important. So in this case, having URLs here, whatever the project, is great. But then maybe dates. We've encountered this a few times today. I also do the dates on the right side, to be honest with you, but it isn't the best practice because it's not an important piece of information. Like, there's a lot more other things you could list here rather than the date, because no one cares about the date other than like maybe how long you worked there. But yeah, there's some questions in
Another
the chat.
quick thing before
Yeah, go on,
we move on the projects real quick. I'm just not seeing like a highlight of the tools that you use. I have to like read it through it. I see that you're using Next.js and Sanity. You could also in the same line, personal portfolio, you can have a space there and then in it italicize some of the key tools that you use on the side as well, or bold the ones that you write in your description as well. Just because like if you go down Usher and look at the actual projects, it's kind of hard to like from a distance. It's kind of hard to see like exactly what, but you have to quickly read it. And you can notice that he's using Next.js and Spring Boot and stuff like that.
Sorry, there's a question. Um, should you put dates for projects, or can you leave dates out? I don't think that's like a thing that's like divisive or decisive in you getting a job. You can if you want to. You don't have to if you don't want to. Maybe just show when you worked on the project last or when you started it. Maybe. I don't think it's like a crazy thing. Also, there's a question in the chat, but I can't find the original point. Shakib, can you just repeat the question that you said? Please begin, please enlighten us. Can you just repeat the question in chat? My Streamlabs is a bit buggy, so I can't find the original question to that. But yeah. Also, yeah, present and current both work, so yeah. I was told emojis screw with ATS. Same with icons. I was told emojis screw with ATS and icons. Okay, cool. So we mentioned this at the very beginning too, but ATS systems aren't as crazy restrictive as they used to be a few years ago, because companies realize that they're actually losing a lot of talent by automatically rejecting people that have like an emoji in their resume or have like an icon. I would definitely go with emojis and icons in my personal resume. Maybe if you're beginning, not necessarily. If you have if you're more experienced and if you're applying to like post grad or your fourth internship, ATS systems, especially for like the more senior you get, obviously this is like post grad stuff, but the more senior you get, the less likely your resume is going to be like automatically rejected by an ATS system, and it's more manual. The recruiters will look at, like they'll look at it manually instead. So I guess at the very beginning, maybe don't if you're first year or something, but you can also use there's a lot of online websites that help you figure out if your resume is ATS friendly. If you really do care about like ATS 100%, like your resume has to pass every single ATS system in the world, you could use those. But ATSs aren't like the make or break that they used to be like 5 years ago, I would say. So anything else on this one before we move on this resume specifically?
Okay, I just read a question in the chat. For the resume into the co-op program, there's a different setup, and they give an example at the, yep. Should I make my resume 2 pages for that or just 1 page? This is separate from job applications. Okay, so funny enough, the resume example that the school gives you to get into the co-op program is absolutely outdated. Like, I
Terrible.
would not recommend anyone. Like, I wouldn't, like, just please don't listen to them. Now, the school might be a little antsy on that. You could make just like a quick resume for them and be like, hey, like, it's for this. Or honestly, actually, you can just hand in the resume that you have. It'll work out. Just follow some of the guidelines that I mentioned, like have your school named appropriately, have your degree named appropriately. But I probably wouldn't recommend following their guideline exactly, or like following the exact template, because their resume is way outdated.
But specifically for co-op, I would keep the like. I know the co-op resume is really weird. To get into co-op, follow that template exactly because you have to. You don't have a choice. Once you get into co-op or you don't get into co-op, never use that resume ever again. Like just throw it out. Like you're not gonna use it because even in the co-op program, once you get in, they make you make your resume again or they make you edit it. So that specific resume template is only to get into co-op. So for that, follow their guidelines specifically. It also changes from year to year slightly. Like some of the guidelines change very slightly, but overall it is the same.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But follow their guidelines exactly. Oh, Shakib literally said everything I said without me looking at it. Great. Thanks, Shakib.
Perfect.
Cool.
Right, you want to move to the next resume?
John Smith, who goes to university.
Right.
So, again, we'll answer the external Laurier Club question later, by the way. So anyway, we'll go through his resume first and then talk about that after. But John Smith, again, languages, tools, that's perfect. You have everything there. You have some specific things too, like Postgres, Flask, which is cool. You have some general ones too. Maybe if you get a few more in here, you could start to categorize them individually. If you don't have a lot, then it's totally fine to just list everything on their tools. But if you do get a few more skills under your belt, maybe it might be worth like sorting them out into different categories. Again, I like the header looks fine, looks nice. Easy to read, email, phone number, GitHub, LinkedIn, URL, same thing we talked about earlier. It might be a good idea to have it like somewhat obvious to see if I don't have access to the link, the hyperlink, or it's printed on paper. They have their experiences here. One big thing is your most recent work experience should be the biggest one. If you're still working there, so I guess it is still present. But we're also in November, so it's been a few months. So I guess I get it if you don't have a lot to do. But in that case, this would be the most recent work experience you've completed. They should be a lot more dense. You should have done a lot and being able to like explain a lot, versus like this one being your biggest one. Kind of just shows that like I did a lot here, but then my most recent job I didn't do like a lot of stuff. I didn't show a lot of initiative or whatever it is. Even if you didn't do a lot at your most recent job, like try to make this one the fattest one possible, or even better, the one you're currently working at, make that one the fattest one possible. So yeah, but ideally your most recent job should have the most to talk about. Anyway, I'm going to read some of the bullet points. Added additional features in orchestration management console to display metadata and scripts related to all orchestration services, reducing time required for incident resolution by up to X%. It's not bad. There's a lot of stuff I don't know what that. I don't know what like not a lot. Everyone would know what an orchestration management console might be. So if there's like a more general term, if this is actual piece of software or something, then that's me not knowing what it is. But if it is a type of software, like for example an ORM, maybe list which one you're using. Otherwise I think that's okay. Lead configuration management tool for the secure boot settings of servers in Python, reducing the time it's required by developers to toggle secure boot on one or more servers by up to 95%. This bullet point is great. Maybe don't get into the super specifics about some of the things you did, because these two bullet points make me think that these are the only two things you like. This is like, if there's two bullet points here, I'm assuming this is like something you did a lot, and this itself isn't like a genre of work. It's more so a very specific task that you would have done. It's like listing a ticket that you completed rather than a project. So maybe making these bullet points a bit more generic slightly and making them projects rather than very specific tasks you completed. Unless the task is like something crazy important, like, you know, manage the firewall at the Pentagon or something, you know, something like crazy specific. But if it's just like, I turn on secure boot on a bunch of servers and manage some stuff on it, like maybe make it a tad bit more generic, but yeah.
Yeah.
Again, not bad. Some of this stuff is cool. I wouldn't like, if you're like, I don't know, you're building the technologies you use here and mentioning it here too. I don't think it's worth like duplicating that, like having this here and this here. I think you could have like something here, some other pieces of information here, or empty it. I just think it's kind of useless to have the language there, but yeah. Otherwise, again, education at the top would be nice. Again, you're not getting a Bachelor of Computer Science. You're getting a Bachelor of Science, or
Actually,
they do.
they
Sorry,
do.
yeah. Sorry, you Waterloo. Yeah, you do get a. Yeah, sorry. Okay, never mind. My bad. I forgot. Waterloo specifically does have a Bachelor of Computer Science, and Guelph has a Bachelor of Computing. So specifically for them, makes sense. But yeah. Anything else, Nish?
Okay, other than that, it looks really good. My only concern is the action verbs at each of the bullet points. They need to be a bit stronger, or they need to add them. I just feel like at the very bottom, when the projects come in, you're using like the most generic ones, such as created or designed. I feel like there's way more better words to use.
Yeah, like took the lead role. Maybe you could change that. Led the process of. I just thought of that on top of my head. It's definitely better options, but like took isn't a very weak word. That's a very good point actually. Like took is a very very weak word to start off.
Even
with.
if you go down to the projects real quick, there's some things like using created twice, or no, sorry, designed twice. Try to change them up a bit. And also same thing, designed and implemented. That's a very short sentence, and half that like sentence is like just your action verbs that you designed and implemented something. So try to expand more on that.
Yeah, otherwise pretty solid. I just realized that full stack application is like a blanked out name, so I was about to say like why is this here, then I realized it's the name of the application anonymized. So good stuff. Otherwise I think it's pretty good. Yeah, cool. Next, resume. So
Okay, before we start, I'm seeing a lot of questions in here regarding like specifically for Nosher and me. We'll come back to those at the end. Don't worry about those because those questions are a little longer to answer.
sorry, I'm just gonna quickly buzz through some of the ones that are easy at least. Nish, could you wanna just quickly one sentence answer this? Did you get your TD Bank job through looking through Navigator on Co-op, through applying on LinkedIn, or through networking with somebody? Which one was it?
It was by myself, external application.
Okay, so like LinkedIn or something, right? Or like their website.
LinkedIn, yeah.
Okay, cool. The dropping out of co-op is better and less stress external is as good. We'll talk about the pros and cons of being in co-op at the end, okay? Because there's a whole topic debate about that, but we'll talk about it later. Also, like we're under a time limit, so yeah. I'm just gonna skip this one and move to the next one for now. Just cause, but yeah. Okay, so this resume, again, laid out very nicely. Looks nice. You have your education at the very top. Cool. I would maybe recommend including the month that you are like your semesters, like include like September 21 to April 26 or to current or whatever. I think it is recommended to have your expected graduation date. So you could have like it just the month here, but don't just put the years because it's a bit too vague, and a lot of jobs are like semester based, especially internships and stuff. So maybe include that. And relevant coursework is okay to have if relevant coursework I see quite a bit for people who are newer, like at the very beginning of their career. It's totally fine to have because there's not much you have. It's just given, you're just starting. But for later on, people who are like kind of a few years in, I would probably not include relevant coursework unless you did something really sick. But if you did the same like software development, algorithm design, data abstraction, linear algebra 1 and 2, okay, like linear algebra 2, that's kind of a flex, I guess, but it's also Waterloo. I think you guys take that anyway. Calc, designing functional, some of these are cool, but some of them are like software development I'd probably drop because it's not unique in any way. But yeah, technical skills, C, C++, blah, 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 Python, robotic process. So,
I feel like they need to be organized because you're just listing a bunch of them, but you also have stuff like Git and Bash inside of what it looks like a bunch of languages. So
yeah.
it's hard to distinguish some of them, right? Because not everything here is listed as a language.
Yeah, you have enough white space to have like maybe 2 or 3 topics and then have some listed
Yeah.
things underneath them. Otherwise, we have some relevant experience. This is a good way, actually. This is a really good way to combine projects and work experience into one section. Whether or not you want to do that personally is up to you. I think I have projects and experience separated. I don't think it's a terrible thing to have them together. But if you do have projects and experience together, you need to make it very obvious which one of these are projects and which one of them is experience. In this case, it is pretty obvious, like this is a job and these two are projects, so that's good. But just if you do go down that route, just make sure of that. So their assistant developer built and deployed a 3-month-long Oracle Apex web application wizard in a 2-person team for their employee hiring management, utilizing SQL queries, databases, UX design, security, regex, and auditing. Some of these things like SQL queries and databases, you can just combine this to SQL or like something similar to that. You don't like SQL queries and databases, like those are like they don't need to be separated. UX design, like did you use Figma? Did you research UX instead? Like did you do UI design? If so, did you use Figma? Maybe list that instead. If you did UX research, what did you do? Like maybe to say UX design is a bit vague. For regex, like if you use regular expressions, that isn't like I wouldn't say listing regular expressions is like a very unique thing to do. Like it's not. It's just a feature of most programming languages and a thing in computer science. So I wouldn't maybe list it too much. But yeah, a lot of these points here could probably be changed up a bit, I would say. Otherwise, everything else is nice. Like this bullet point is very nice, other than that part. So.
Mm-hmm.
1 month long RPA, start to finish, utilizing cloud computing, extracting invoice data. That's cool. Nice. You used like a bunch of things here. Maybe just saying using jQuery is enough. You don't need to specify use selectors. Because that shows that you only use like one section of a library. Just saying you use jQuery is good enough, I would say. It shows that it's vague enough where they can be like, oh, you probably use a bunch of things for jQuery, you know? So, and yeah, otherwise these bullet points are fine. Especially since these are like projects right here. Like these are very good bullet points for a project, I'd say. Conceptualize a 3-week project featuring command line interface and following RAII idioms and VI idioms and the single responsibility principle, obtaining a final grade of 97%. Pretty good. Has everything you need, to the point, tells you the result, so not bad. So yeah. Otherwise, yeah, I think these are good. What do you think, Nish? Everything looks good?
I think it looks good to me.
Cool. Also, music in person, so W. Anyway, next resume. So right off the bat, there is way too much white space on this resume without even like reading anything. Even if you don't have a lot to put on your resume, there's always ways to fill up white space by moving stuff around, making stuff bigger or smaller, highlighting different pieces of information. Yeah.
I'm gonna spitfire some things here real quick. So quickly start off with the education. BS Computer Science. It should be BSc. Also listing your education in bullet points, like listing the key topics. You could organize that a bit better, putting the date right aligned. Second year student, that could be
Dropped.
you don't have to like fully say yeah, you can get rid of it. Also same thing, relevant courses that could be dropped just because those are kind of they're known to be taken, right? If something like you're taking something cool, like I don't know, like artificial or cryptography, sure, put those on there, but those are known to be done in any CS program. Projects, that link hyperlink is so big, it's annoying. It like bothers me.
It looks bad, yeah.
Terrible. So that could be a little bit shortened down, or actually use it like I don't know, write project link and then like hyperlink that instead. Bullet points for that, create a sign up login page using HTML, PHP. Also, HTML and PHP, they've been
CSS.
lowercase. Yeah, so they need to be hypercased. And bolded. They can be bolded just so like I can see it more visually. Additionally, there's code available for a database to create and save user accounts. Currently working on uploading database code. Yeah, get rid of the sentences. You have 3 sentences in one bullet point, and make it more aligned. So it'll be like, hey, created a sign up and login page using HTML and PHP, which allowed for a faster and responsive interface by 10% or 20%. something like that.
Like it should tell a
That's straight out
story.
of my
Like a bullet point should tell a
yeah.
story. This is like this, and then also I did that other thing too. And I'm also doing this other thing right now. Like that's this bullet point basically.
Yeah. Another thing to avoid, this is just for anyone in general, the third bullet point, learn to style, align, and manage. When you're listing things, recruiters tend to get tired. They want to hear, focus, rather than focusing on 6 things at once, focus on 2 things and expand on it. So don't be like, I did this, and then you did consisting of images, text, section, video, like stuff like that. Just don't, try to like make it like as Nasha said, a story that expands on 2 things. It goes well in detail.
Specifically for that bullet point, for example, like styled, aligned, managed data of images, text, and second. That's just you learn how to do UI. So you can just talk about how you didn't know how to use UI, or like just talk about how you like this is UI. So I learned how to UI design. Like that's a lot better way of putting that because it's a lot easier to read too. Because like style, align, manage. What are you talking about? Oh, they're talking about. Oh, they're probably talking about UI design. Like that's how I would think if I was reading this. You know.
Mhm.
So, PHP my admin needs to be capitalized properly as well.
Yeah. I think this resume really needs a revamp. Just organize much more. I feel like you could talk a bit more about your product, like your description could be just worked on a bit more. But because you have the content there, you have like the different 4 different like the key sections. It just utilize all the space you have. You have a lot of white space. I see more. It's all compressed in the center.
Also, GitHub capital H, capital G, Eclipse capital E, like all of these examples should be like all capitalized, like, and
Yeah.
then listing effective communication skills between all of your programming experiences is so random and unnecessary. I think, like, either put this in a different section under soft skills or just remove it entirely. Because like, they know how to use VS Code, which also, by the way, like like listing IDEs is okay, but it's not like a crazy impressive thing. Also, I think VS Code is abbreviated wrong here too. But they use VS Code, they use Eclipse, they know how to use GitHub. Oh, they have good communication skills. Okay. And then listing your spoken languages with your programming languages is not a good idea either. Very different types of languages. So I
Yeah,
don't.
the sales sessions just looks all over the place. Like we're talking about first of all, like IDEs all the way to front end languages, and then and then we got like Python, C++, Java at the very end.
Yeah.
All over the place.
And also, yes, Git is a good. Like, if you know how to use GitHub, you know how to use Git. So put Git. Git's a more general topic as well. Also, this random look for here, like Ontario, Waterloo. Like at least put a comma here, or like put like also like Ontario is coming. Like it should be the smallest thing first. It should be Waterloo, comma Ontario, comma Canada, or like Waterloo, comma ON, capital, whatever. So yeah. Otherwise, yeah. That is everything for this. Last resume before you start roasting our execs. So right off the bat,
Straight off the bat.
summary of skills. High academic achiever, self-motivated, natural leader with excellent work ethic and communication skills. Thrive. Okay, this is the biggest offense. Thrives in a fast-paced and self-led environment. I think my keyword. Oh, no, we're good. This like everyone can thrive in a fast-paced environment. That doesn't make you like it doesn't make you stand out. This is a very like just having a profile or a summary section on your resume, especially in tech, is a very very big red flag. And like having like all these things are just like soft skills that should be shown with your experiences rather than you like saying I'm this, I'm that. Like I can say, oh, I'm a really good listener, I'm a really good leader, but me just saying that to you versus me saying, oh, I lead this club, oh, I'm really good at listening to this, I participated in this event, I did this, like that shows those skills and you don't need to actually explicitly list them. So I would say that. Also, there's a couple questions in the chat. Someone said something. The question about UI, by the way, for relevant courses, if you're in the comp sci program and you're not in the UI design program, but you took some UI courses, should you include those? If you are gonna have a relevant coursework section and you took UI courses, I would definitely list them. Again, relevant coursework itself, like having it again, we talked about it. It's not for the more senior you become in your career, you should drop it straight away. But if you have it, include UI. UI is a crazy good thing. A lot of computer science kids do not know how to style stuff for the life of them, or are not good at like being creative or like styling stuff. So taking some UI courses really sets you apart, I would say. Even if a lot of people take it, like the majority of them don't. So please definitely list those. It's very important.
Yeah, I'm gonna answer another quick question here too. Lucy said, in my resume, should I add my portfolio of the project if I created it myself, as well as should I keep it the link at the top with the LinkedIn and not include it? So if you create your portfolio from scratch using, like React and JavaScript, then definitely put it as a project. That's something you created like from scratch. If you use like WordPress, Weebly or whatnot, then I wouldn't avoid, because like you're getting like majority of the like websites being done by a third party. So definitely put it as a project, and then you can still hyperlink it at the top with your LinkedIn. So it would be GitHub, LinkedIn, and portfolio, and you can also hyperlink it later down at the project section as well.
Real quick, you have an honors computer engineering degree. That should be at the top. Again, computer engineering, like a lot more niche than computer science. Computer science is very like niche. I mean, very saturated. Computer engineering is not. Have that at the top. Also, your degree is not in honors computer engineering. It's most likely a BEng, an honors BEng in specifically computer engineering. So please, again, same thing with the BSc in computer science thing. List that properly.
Mhm.
Again, you're a part of the engineering society as the VP of finance. Hopefully you listed that as an experience here somewhere. I don't think you did, but that's something you could talk about. Um,
Another
the
real quick thing is that the core member for the club is higher than the current internship, so that could
Yeah,
obviously
especially
tell.
since this is like 22 and this is 23, so I feel like your software development experience is a lot more important at a real job
Mhm.
than a extracurricular that you're a general member of or whatever. So yeah, reposition those, reorder those. Sorry. Contributing to developing and optimizing the team's vehicles, powertrain systems using tools such as MATLAB, Simulink, SafeFlow. That's cool. What did you optimize? Oh wait, like what specifically of the powertrain did you optimize? Like how did you optimize it? How did you develop it? Why did you do it? Might be some cool things to include there. Um, getting hands-on experience in modifying and working on electric vehicles and collaborating with a diverse team to innovate sustainable transportation. Very cool thing to be working on, but I have no information on what you did or what you worked on. It sounds really sick, but I'm kind of just like, okay, like what did you do? Like I'm so interested, but I can't find out. So maybe really develop that, because that's like a really cool thing to work on. That's very unique. So collaborating with cross-functional teams to understand deployment requirements and optimize automation workflows accordingly. Again, not a lot of detail. It's more of a action or a challenge, but it's one of those kind of, but like needs to be more content, more like detail, I guess. Scroll down here. Again, this could probably be a one pager. I really think you could be. You have a lot of white space everywhere. Like this entire top section, like a fifth of your first page is basically just your name and your email and stuff. So like you have white space here, you have all this white space. You could definitely improve this if you, especially if you get rid of the
Mhm.
summary of skills as sentences and like change those as bullet points. You can move all of those stuff up there.
Also, real quick, I'm taking a very lucky guess. Can we go to the top real quick? If that is your LinkedIn and you have numbers on the end, you can change those. You can make your LinkedIn URL shorter. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, 100%. Please, please, please. If you have a
Yeah,
LinkedIn
please.
with a number on it, please shade. It's very easy and it's free. It takes like 10 seconds to do. And now they actually updated LinkedIn. It's at the when you edit your profile, it's the first thing that comes up on the very top right. It's very easy to do now.
Hmm.
Also, a lot of these things, Promox Home Virtual Network. I know exactly what you did here. Like you set up a server and you set up to monitor network traffic. Does not need two bullet points. Gain familiarity with various open source networking software and tools. Again, you do not need to talk about that. Like that should the thing you use to make this like Proxmox should be included in the first bullet point to the point where you don't need the second bullet point. It's kind of just
Hmm.
not needed at all. Um, Vehicle shutdown sequencing and state flow. Like some of these things are cool, like really cool because they're unique. But yeah, they don't all need to have like two. Like this one right here, like you could probably combine these into one bullet point and shorten this first one to be more concise, and then include this point in the first bullet point. So again, developed MATLAB scripts for processing data gathered in testing. Probably combined with the first one. So yeah, definitely could be a one pager. Does not need to be two pages. The thing with two page resumes is if someone notices that you have a two page when you don't need to have it, it's a very big no in the recruiting world. Because two pages implies you have enough to talk about on two pages, which here you don't specifically have. So
Hmm. And like real quick to like wrap this resume up, like if you want to make this one page, get rid of your summary of skills, have just the skill sections, bring your education to the top, expand your margins so that like everything, so the bullet points don't take up to like 4 sentences of space. So I see that one taking 3 sentences, and then yeah, you should easily fit this in 1 page.
Also, yes, leadership is very important. Very, very important. Has some for the person who's asking about PM, leadership is crazy good. Having PM is 50-50 on technical, or I'd say like 70-30. 70% leadership, 30% technical. So please, if you're gonna go into PM, have leadership experiences. Ideally the ones that intersect with tech, but yeah. That's a little tidbit. Anyway, now we get to roast. That's all of the general resumes we had submitted that we were supposed to be nice to. Now we get to roast some people. So I'm gonna start with Donner right here. Oh, I didn't click it. There we go. I'm just gonna close all the other resumes. Close. Oh, it's not that easy, huh? Just gonna one by one close all of these. So first of all, I think it's because you changed your email to please go through not sure to talk to me. But first line, bro, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, come on, buddy. So you have a Bachelor of Science, Computer Science. Cool. I'm trying to look for things to roast. Nish, feel free if you have anything.
Bro, I'm trying to find, but this is the well.
Bro, it's ASP.net, not just .net. Come on, Donner, what the fuck? Improve the implementation of dark mode feature for Axiom process using C# and WPF. What's WPF? No, not like I don't know if that's a common term, but I don't think it is. Why did you do this? I don't care. Why do I care that you did dark mode? Like, give me reasons to care. Like, say something. Like, you worked on the dark mode. Like, good for you, buddy. Like, come on, be more specific.
Okay, so real quick, for a resume that that looks appealing, the words are a little kind of like shit. Used, developed, created. Come on, that can be better.
Like used, like Java, you used Java to troubleshoot. You didn't troubleshoot. You should have just started it with troubleshooted and improved. You know, like, bro, used. Come on, man.
Yeah. Created. Like, no, they could be way better.
Yeah. Here, like, you could definitely talk about how many students you worked, like, helped with, like, how many students you marked, how many students you talked to every day. Like, come on, numbers, come on. You have Python, Java, C, C#, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, TypeScript, PHP, SQL, VBA, Linux. Why is Linux the first thing on your technologies, buddy, and not Git or Jira? Why is Linux the first thing?
Yeah.
React, like, really? Linux before React, really?
Yeah, this also goes like the way I know, like Python, Java should be like, I'm guessing, are your strongest. So the same way I'm getting, there's no way Linux is your strongest. You know Linux more than React. There's no way.
Yeah, like 100%. I guess Laurier, President. Cool. I can't really, I know those two, so I can't really.
Same thing right here. He's using I've seen created like used 4 times. Like, come on, it gets boring. Like, I've read it like once or twice. I don't want to see it again.
Yeah.
And use something better. Created is so outdated.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. I think that's enough of that. Oh yeah, the spacing here is dog shit, by the way. Your like project's title is like there's no space between this word and this title, or this word and this title.
There's spacing there. No, well, it's a mix and match. Projects and approaches is like there's no space at all, but there's minor space there, so that's gonna be fixed.
Come on, buddy. Also, like, maybe add some space between these job titles. You can definitely you have enough white space here. Like there's some white space at the bottom, the margins, like this top section, like and make the text like 1 pixel smaller, and this will all like have some nice white space. Come on, buddy.
Okay, so real quick before we move on, I'm gonna ask a question. That's gonna be like for people that don't usually ask this question, but should it be like we're okay? Look at Magna Forensics and Software Developer Co-op. Yeah. Should it be like that or vice versa? What do you think?
I don't think.
Is it company first before position, or is it? Because I know a lot of people do it like.
That's an interesting one. Let me look at what I do on the side before I say. But I think position should be first. To be honest, unless all your positions are the exact same. I have company first. Rip. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah, no. I do. I have company too, but some people like you can put either or. I just really depends on preference, but I don't think there's anything bad with it.
Yeah, especially if you have companies first. If you have cool companies on there, then probably definitely put companies first.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. Anyway, next, and let's who do I pick? Let's do Torin. All right, Torin. So, He has
Okay, so
niche rules
first thing
and
I want
not
to
sure
point.
rules, by the way, it's FYI.
Oh, one thing I want to point out real quick. So coming back from when we first started with our 2-column resume, this is what Nosher meant, where the first column takes over 80% and the second column takes over the last 20% of the space. So you can list more of like the bigger stuff on the left side, and then have stuff on the right side that is listed.
It should be positioned because for websites you can fill in the info. When you fill in the info, they always take the position first, not the company. That is actually a good point. That's actually a very valid point. Again, I think it's a preference thing. Um, So and yeah, you some ATS systems. Okay, that's a very good point. I was also thinking that initially, unless you have really crazy companies that you want to flex, I would like it's up to you to be honest if you want to list company or experience or position first. But that is a very valid point where a lot of ATS systems also, if you have company first, it'll think that is your position. So yeah, I think the old school thing is position first. But again, it's up to you. Anyway,
Okay, real quick.
yeah.
First, right after that, yo, your name's too big.
Yeah, your name
Fine,
isn't
that
that
whole
cool,
section.
buddy. Come on.
Oh, bro, like, come on. You're missing. You only have one project. Imagine having 2 projects there. If your name was shorter, you could easily have more room.
Also, these bullet points are not aligned with the margin in this. So in this column, the margin is right here. The left margin is right here, right? And then your bullet points are going past that margin. It looks really ugly because then this looks really weird right here. So
Also, honors BSC, BSC, C should be lowercase. It's
lowercase.
BS lowercase c.
Yeah.
Um.
Again, months would be nice. Sept 2019 to expected July or whatever.
Okay, real quick. You put Python twice in your technical skills. I know you're organizing them, but don't do that. Don't put Python twice. Get rid of it.
Also, stick Python in
For now.
languages. Python's a language
Yeah, no,
first.
he does. He does. But
Oh, it's right there. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm stupid.
no, get rid of that, bro. What are you doing?
Come on, buddy. Also, something link your cert. Yeah, you so especially on LinkedIn as well. You can you can have a certification, and then you can have it like officiated on LinkedIn if you link it to the source that you got it from. There's like an ID that some system ID system, and then you can actually link the cert. So like, please do that. It shows that you actually got it. You're not just saying you got it. So. Cool. Otherwise, I think this is okay. I don't think you need to have these months full. Also, like, okay, I get why you did this. To be honest, I don't think you need to
Okay.
include this here if you're
Yeah.
including this and this. I get why you did it, but actually, this is weird because like, he also has it here.
No,
And
this
here.
is this is bothering me. So what I recommend is don't put it at Wilfrid Laurier University. That date should be for the instructional assistant. Then keep one date for the, because what he's trying to do, not sure, is the event coordinator. He's saying that he worked at LCS from 2022 all the way to the present, but he did 2 positions. So get rid of that date. Have the date separate. Also, the event coordinator date is left and centered aligned. So it's off. It's not. It should be right aligned to the end of the column.
Yeah, this right here. What is
And
this? What is this, Torin? What is
yeah,
this?
what is that? And move the get rid of all of the dates that belong to the first heading. They should only have dates for the second heading.
Also, you're a
for the actual
VP.
position.
You're a VP. Like, just FYI, you're VP of Vice President of Event Coordination. Also, one more thing. This E is like not in the same margin as everything else here.
Yeah.
Like it's weird. Like this S is also not in the same margin. Your bullet points aren't in the same margin. Like your margins need to be fixed. And you definitely have enough white space to increase your margin and still get everything in here. So cool.
Yeah, no, Nasha and I are really picky when it comes to like small things like that. Because the thing is, when you can you zoom out of the resume? When you look at a resume, like for a recruiter that goes through 300 resumes, they want something neat and clean, like 24/7.
Exactly.
Like they know the small stuff. Like I've seen so many resumes to the point where we're gonna see those small things that bother us a lot.
Because this looks weird. This white space is dots and white space. Like there should be all white here if it's white space. You know, like that section right there. Cool. Next resume. Let's do Aiden because he said not to do his. Cool. So, languages. What are dev tools? Or like okay. Let's look through these real quick before I say anything. Like LaTeX is a dev tool and not like a language or something. Like LaTeX is a markdown language. You know. I would maybe choose something else than dev tools. Dev tool sounds a bit ghetto.
Yeah,
I don't
software
like
tools.
the alternate like title case, uppercase, title case, uppercase. I don't know. It's a bit tacky, I think. I like that it's hyperlinked though. So, Bachelor of Science and Computer Science dub.
Also, same thing. Relevant coursework. That's a whole like line wasted. Get rid of it.
Yeah, no one cares. A data source is an algo. Like, come on, everyone knows that.
Honestly, like no, yeah. All like overall, what you have on the resume, you don't need that line.
Also, you don't need this. Sorry, like this little footer does not like. I know it's a resume, buddy. Why are you telling me it's a resume? Okay, come on.
Okay, see, I like how you hyperlinked his stuff. Like it's like
Yeah,
there's not an extra link. It's
I
everything's
agree.
there accessible.
I agree too. Just the margining here because it's all italicized looks off here slightly, this section. But I don't know how to fix that either. So, cool. Otherwise, not much to pick on. I have to like look deeply.
Oh, hold up. Developed major league hacking. Can you look at the second bullet point for hawkx? At the end, he
developed
says
a major league.
See here. Hyperlink to hawkx. Like no.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. Adding that see here part, I don't like it. Nah.
I don't like it either. See here is really ghetto.
Yeah, no, that's ghetto too. He has it on the second bullet point for LCS.
Yeah, see here is not like not nice. Like there's different ways of doing it, but see here is not it. Also, I don't like that these are right justified. It doesn't suit the rest of the resume. Like everything on this resume is left justified. Every single thing, other than this header, which is separate from the rest of the resume, so that's fine. But this being right justified is weird.
Okay, and if you lack space, if you need more space, your name can be smaller a bit, like tiny.
If you need more space, yeah.
Yeah, if you need it, but it's fine for now.
Also, the fact that these are hyperlinked makes this look thicker. So add maybe a bit more space between projects and this, and otherwise, I think this is okay. Otherwise, to be honest.
Yeah.
Next resume.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, so first of all, your name is not that important, Shakib. Okay, buddy. Like we know your name's Shakib, man. It's in the file name. It's like, come on, what is this?
Okay, forget the name, but what's that right?
What is this space, bro? What is this space? What is this? Either move this stuff here or do something else with this, or like, come on, buddy.
Yeah, no. Or you know what you should do? Bring the education if you want. Like if you're gonna have a 2-column split, education to the very top, and then add another section at the very bottom, or add another project. You only have one project from what I see.
Yeah. Otherwise, this spacing here, I don't like this right here, or like this. Also, why is like I don't like what are these margins? Like what is this? What is this margin, bro?
The space between president and LCS is way bigger than instructional assistant and Wilfrid Laurier University.
I think these fonts are different size. I'm not sure actually, maybe not, but
also fix your dates. Your dates are all over the. You can make them shorter.
Yeah, I don't think you need to have them.
Right now, your September is almost touching associate.
Also, you're telling me that the date is just as important as your position? Like, why are they the same size, same like the one? Okay, so a big rule for resumes, they should be like HTML documents where the most important stuff should be big, and then the smaller, less important things should be smaller and not headers. In this case, the fact that you're a web developer is not the same thing as you started the job in September. You know, so make this tiny. Don't bold it. So. Yeah.
Shakib, tell me this real quick. What's your most proficient language right now?
Where's right here? Yeah, it is C. It is C. It's C. I know it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you gonna call him out for that, eh? Also, yeah. Is Visual Basic? Oh, is Visual Basic the language?
No.
I don't think Visual Basic's the language name.
Nope.
I think that's the environment name. If I remember correctly, I don't think. Also, you spelled associate wrong. Yeah, Jackie's right. Is that associate? Is that associate? No, right?
No. There's not another S. There's only 2 S's.
Okay, yeah, okay. Okay, cool. You want to move on? Next one?
Yeah, I'm good with this.
Who should I go for next?
Let's go Juan.
Juan, where's Juan? I'm not. Am I? This is no. Oh, what?
Noah Shafir.
Okay, we're gonna go with Noah. Why did you submit a screenshot on a PDF, my guy?
Oh my god. Okay, first thing right off the bat, get rid of the relevant coursework section needs to go.
Why is
Move on.
why is this taking up like a eighth of the resume width or height? Sorry, like I don't care that you know how to do statistics and calculus. Like I'm not gonna hire you as a software developer and be like, oh, I'll solve this integral, guys.
This resume's kind of
Why is bro's resume 360p? Honors Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. All right, respectable. You got the degree name right. I feel like that's a very low bar now, but hey. Okay. April, September, August. Ongoing. That's a unique one. I like ongoing. It's an interesting word.
Okay, at least what I like here is skills are really like well organized. I think looking through it, like everything's where it should be.
Python, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Java, Bash, SQL, VBA, R, Maple, C, ARMv7, assembly. Why is okay? ARMv7 assembly. You can just change it to ARMv7. Everyone like you don't need it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, React, JS. The J should be lowercase. Bootstrap. I think it's actually I think Bootstrap's the name. Django, Pygame. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there. I probably wouldn't put it. Actually, I don't know if I'd put it at the bottom, but I think the spacing here is really off. Like the spacing between this and the spacing between this.
Yeah, you know, because it's because of the relevant coursework. If you go up to the top,
there's a lot of space.
Yeah, remove that and fix your margins, please.
Yeah, your margins are really off here. Like the vertical margins, or sorry, the horizontal margins are really off here. So space stuff out. You have a lot of space here. So yeah, I think otherwise it's okay. Also, this developed an application which generates statistics and graphs on students' grades stored in an Access database. The application also exports results into a Word document for the convenience of the user. That's such a mid bullet point. Like this last sentence could be simplified to just mentioning the fact that you can export into different things like Word, like docx format. Like obviously I know it's for the convenience of the user. Like you don't need to tell me what a Word document's for, you know? So yeah. Otherwise, yeah, okay. Next resume.
Mm-hmm.
I can't find where's Juan's resume? I can't find it. Is it new resume? It is new resume. Okay.
There we go.
Comma. You need a comma after Ontario. These are 3 different pieces of the information: city, province, country. Comma.
Technical skills look good to me.
You can bold these. These need to be bolded.
Yeah. Yep.
D3JS, Matplotlib, Nextauth, Scikit, Laurier, and C#, C++, start. Go, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Java, JavaScript, Lua, Python, SQL. So what?
I was saying that he's so many experiences in the IA.
These can like this bold is not obvious that it's bold. It looks very like minor. Like the weight on the bold here is very little. So I would probably bold this. Maybe bold one of these things too with a different weight. Like it looks slightly odd. This right here specifically looks very odd, I'd say. So otherwise not bad. This right here, this is terrible. This is dog shit. What is this?
No, that is bothering me. Coding journey and the first bullet point. Yikes! You need to decrease the margin between projects and coding journey, and then increase the margin between the first bullet point.
Also, someone asked what VHDL is. It's I think it's VH something hardware description language. It's a common thing. It's more for software engineers than or like people who program microprocessors and stuff. But yeah, it's an abbreviation you're allowed to use. It's a common abbreviation for people who like for that industry. So yeah. Resorted to TypeScript to improve code readability, maintenance, and strong typing. I don't care. That's like, who cares? Like, good for you. You use TypeScript for that. Like, okay, it's like listed right here, you know, so you don't need to list it here. Cool. Anything else, Nish?
Bullet points need more work. Explained, identified, marked. Like,
used.
Above.
Used.
No, not even that. Just like go in more depth. Like go to data structures 1 and 2. For example, explain to students how to utilize C language to implement. Like, give me an end result. Like, how much did you help them? How many students did you help them? Put some numbers into it. Just kind of it's
Also,
kind of
you
vague.
forgot all your periods and all your sentences. So this is basically one big sentence, this entire resume. So, yeah. Cool. Who are you looking at next? I'll look at this one.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Oh, this is
So.
the biggest red flag, by the way. This star
Uh,
quantifying thing is deleted. Like, you do not. There is no way to tell people. Like, this is the worst way to tell people how skilled you are with something, is to just say 5 out of 5, 8 out of 10. Like, because that is not a standardized unit of measurement. It's just you pulling it out of your ass. Okay. So this needs to go. You just list them in order of proficiency. If you want, you can state that you're proficient with one of them and not as proficient with others or something. But like this, also JavaScript. Why is there a space? Come on. Your skills. These are not worth listing, in my opinion. Again, same thing I said earlier. These should be echoed through the bullet point, through your experiences, not separately here. Kind of useless to have here.
Yeah, no, this whole right column is useless. First of all, we're getting rid
Yeah.
of skills and languages, and second of all, personal info should be at the very top where your name is, because you have blank space there. So get rid of this whole column on the right side, or add more stuff that's more necessary. Second of all, get rid of high school. Like, yo, you don't need that. No, no, no. High school is outdated. Um, Depending if you're first year, okay, hold on. Let me retract on that. If you're first year, sure, keep it, but if you need it for a room, sure, but later on, get rid of it. Dates on the left side look hideous. They need to be in one line.
Yeah, agreed. Computer science minor.
Computer science minor, bachelor's of science. Okay, at least they got that right. Wilfrid is spelled correctly.
Wait. Someone correct me. You're getting a bachelor of science, and then you're getting a CS minor in UX.
No, minor in UX. No, it should be a comma. So
Oh, computer
first,
science,
what you should do
comma,
is,
minor in UX, comma. Is that
yeah.
what it's?
So
Okay.
do this. No, do this. So bachelor's of science in computer science, and then minor and comma minor in UX.
Yeah.
It should be like
I'm confused, you know. Also
Or
references.
just honestly, the best way to do it is BSc. Just use honors BSc, C computer science, and then comma minor in UX.
Also
Best way to do it.
references upon request. Yeah, no shit. Like, don't say that. Don't say that. This looks weird. Like, a lot of people have it. References, like, kind of like, yeah, like, you have to. You're not gonna say no to somebody if they ask you for your references if you're applying to a job. You know, like, you're gonna give it to them.
Okay, that too, but sometimes people will tell you to put. I wholeheartedly say this resume is truthful or whatever bullshit that line is. Get rid of that.
Oh
Okay, we
yeah,
know
it's like oh yeah, it's like I accept terms of service box type thing, you know. So yeah, okay.
Okay.
Shahrukh said
Yeah,
show
this one
his.
needs a lot of work.
But also, this person is first year, so A for effort. I'm not gonna like it's you're early, so you're fine. You're very early on, so it's okay. The fact that you're worried
But
about this
never,
is good.
yeah, but never do the languages like the whole skill section. I don't care what it is, out of a 10 or a scale bar, just get rid of that.
Also this right blue thing right here, there's like a little white space there, so that should not be there. Also, sorry about that. Music switched to Post Malone by accident. There we go. Cool. Shahrukh is next. He said he wants to be roasted. Oh my god.
Holy
There
shit.
is so much text, bro. Is this a chat GPT paragraph essay or is this a resume, man? Which one? The fact that nothing's bolded, or it is bolded, but the weight is so little, it makes it even harder to see. There's way too much text, bro.
Okay, hold up. Built, bro. Built is literally on. Look at tangerine, and look at the last bullet point. Built is touching projects as J. That needs to be
Yeah.
fixed.
Right. Yeah. Right here.
The J on the projects is being touched. Another quick thing. Can we go to the top real quick?
Also, real quick, open
When you-
project. This isn't a website, bro. I don't need there's no doubt. You don't need call to actions on your resume. Okay.
Yeah, just hyperlink the name. Like when you say chess, just hyperlink that. People will know if it's hyperlinked or not.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Bachelor's of CS and Bachelor's of Business and Administration. Second of all, when you do Procter and Gamble and you're doing a dash, get rid of the dash. Just do this. Can you edit that and put the straight bracket?
Say it one more time. Sorry, what?
The vertical bracket or the vertical line.
Like a vertical bar.
For Procter and Gamble.
Yeah,
Vertical bar.
Procter and Gamble, like here.
Yeah, I feel like that's much cleaner. And then
I agree. That looks much cleaner.
There you go. Much cleaner. Get rid of the dashes, please.
We doxed his number. Well, hey, we told. Yeah, that's kind of awkward. I was gonna delete it real quick.
Hey, I mean, yo, if you're gonna submit these resumes, in the public,
You gotta
you
edit
might
those.
as don't make
Also, double
it.
degree. Not it's not obvious to everyone, especially if you're applying to the U.S. Or even like other parts of Canada. Double degree is not like the most obvious thing. People call it a different. Like some people use different terms. I would just stick to listing both of your majors rather than doing it this way. Again, your bachelor's in science, not in computer science. So yeah.
Yo, hold up. Am I tripping? Why does it say May 2023 to May 3rd?
Where?
Wait. Procter and Gamble, May 2023 to May 3rd.
Yeah. Why?
What is going on
Why?
there?
Yeah. Why? I don't, bro. I don't need to know what date you're quitting on, fam. Like, come on.
Like, come on.
Uh.
Um.
Cool.
Oh, hold on. No, okay. Get rid of the tech part. We know what. Okay, the Procter and Gamble. Get rid of the tech.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
know it's tech. You don't need that. Just hyper. Like, I'm glad you initialized them because right now you have Databricks and Toronto like together. Which
Yeah.
looks
This looks like
inferior.
it's part of the
Like,
list. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
You have okay. By the way, Chuck, you have all the experience here. That's great. But Donna also mentioned you do not need every single project you've ever worked on.
Yeah.
Pick the top
Yeah.
ones
If you're
and delete one of these, and that'll give you so much more white space to just make this look a bit cleaner.
Yeah, because the thing is, if you're applying for a job that is React and Java, you don't need that C++. No one's going to care about chess being made in C++.
Also,
Right? So get rid of chess, and then you have more room.
sorry, yeah, I totally forgot again. It is a bachelor of computer science, but my point was here was to list these as two different degrees. That was my main point there. Also, just a little personal opinion. It's not you, but if you're gonna list Waterloo, Ontario, Canada, I'd probably abbreviate Ontario to ON, because that is more than enough information already. You don't have to like because there's only like 8 provinces in Canada, 11 or however many there are. So like you don't need to like write out Ontario. I think it just saves space and looks a bit cleaner, but yeah. Personal preference
Yeah.
again. Also, this thing. This is not bolded, but this is. So I can't even. Oh, that's not bold. I don't know how you bold on. I just made a bunch of bookmarks. Okay, whatever. Anyway, yeah, bold. Like your formatting needs a bit more. What's the word? Like they all need to be like equal.
Yeah, your margins will be fine. Just get rid of one project. You have too many projects on here.
Otherwise,
And
solid.
just plug and play. Plug and play.
Yeah. Cool. Also, we already people mentioned this in chat. Make these hyperlinks easier to more accessible. Big thing. Okay, we keep talking about accessibility, but accessibility is a big thing. Especially a lot of big tech companies want accessibility. So if you can show that even on your resume you have accessibility thought of in terms of like being able to click these or look these up when you can't look at hyperlinks, is already a small little thing that's really good. Just FYI. So.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Good point. For the projects that use the same tools, just remove the worst project. That's a really good point as well. Unless both the parts are really sick and they're both like super futuristic or something. If one of them's a bit mid, then just delete the other one. Like delete the one that's mid.
Yeah.
We'll go through like one or two more. So summary. Delete. Too much white space. Don't need the summary. This can be this is education right here. And interest to use technology and creativity to solve business problems. I'd hope that if you're in a double degree with BBA and CS, you kind of can do that. Like that's kind of like if you're just listing that separately, I'm kind of scared, Jason. Come on, buddy. Oh my God, people just here we go. Oh, I can't edit it. Oh, now it's docs, not GG. Rip Jason. Innovation, mindset, strong leadership. Again, like your skills are just listed as a singular bullet point under summary. That can be probably its own small section, like a tiny little section on the side. You have a lot of white space to work with. Oh, there's a blank page. That's interesting.
Yeah, I hope you're not submitting a resume like that. I actually had a few people submit resumes like that. So please make sure when you're like for some reason when you're downloading your resume off what, you're not sending 2 pages.
Also, if you're in a double degree, this might be this might be opinionated, but if you're submitting first of all, education at the top. Again, we've been over that. That's fine. But if you're gonna list a double degree with CS and BBA, I would stick to just listing Wilfrid Laurier University. I think that's if you're more technical focused. I would list as Wilfrid Laurier University. If you are way more business oriented personally and you don't want a tech job, then ignore that and keep Laz, because I know the business world Lazaritas like listing that is pretty good. But if you're into just the CS part more, or you're applying to tech jobs, I would replace this to just Laurier. and moving to the top end here.
Yeah. Real quick. Okay, there's three things I'm not a big fan of. First of all, Bachelors of Computer Science honors, and you're putting BSc. BSc and Bachelors of Computer Science are two different things. It should be Bachelors of Science, or just do BSc and CS. Easiest way, honors BSc. Second thing, when you do Vice President of Academics there and Laurier FinTech, you have two bolded things. If you want to hover over that, not sure, Vice President of Academics.
Yeah, right here.
Right there. You have two things that are bolded. Italicize the smaller subheading. So italicize Laurier FinTech because it kind of looks weird having two bolded things right beside each other that are in different sizes.
Also, yeah, these square bullet points are disgusting. It's
Yeah.
like a to-do
Get rid of
list.
those.
Am I like supposed to check these? Like, am I checking them? I don't know. Am I supposed to like check them off? Like,
You're supposed to check them as you've read them.
okay.
Like we're done. Next one.
Cool. Otherwise, I think it's okay. I see here you were a bunch of different positions. You said multitude of positions of increasing responsibility, including counselor, head of robotics club, and head staffing coach. I would if this is a really big thing, which it might be, I would maybe list those as like the way Juan I think did, or somebody else where you list them under as like different sub jobs, or just list the most senior role that you had or the most recent.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say head staff team because that's not a position. If you have all these as positions, then I would definitely keep this as a position and not a team that you're on. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Sohan, you're next,
Also
buddy.
the
Go on,
the
sir.
Toronto thing real quick. Toronto, Ontario is too close to the title. Like, it needs to be right aligned. It needs to be on the other side.
Yeah,
I don't
or
want to be
like,
reading Toronto Ticket and then
or make this like more obvious that this is a separator, because that separator I can barely see it on my screen, and there's a little dot there. So, yeah. So, next resume.
oh, yeah.
Cool. Wow, I like the little black bars. That's pretty cool. They look nice, I guess. Actually, oh, this is the co-op resume, isn't it? This is a co-op resume.
Okay.
Should we
Yeah. Oh,
should we go into this or not?
I'm gonna
Cause
I'm
it's
gonna
like,
quickly roast this.
okay.
Employment skills. That section needs to go.
Also this.
Oh, I mean, okay. Hold on. Before I say something, you wanted to say something. Sorry, I cut you off.
This is the co-op template to get into co-op, I think. So, again, keep this as it is for co-op. We're gonna roast this as if it's an actual resume that you are using to apply to jobs. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And you continue.
Yeah. So employment skills. Get rid of that.
Also this.
Local address and permanent address, please. For the love of God, I don't want to know where you live at uni, and I don't want to know where your parents' house is. So no, get rid of those. Second of all, contact. You don't need that's personal information. If that contact means that it's a reference to someone and it has their name, email, or number, get rid of that. That's something you keep personally and is discussed in an interview or upon email. It shouldn't be like given right away. So get rid of that. Same thing. The title and what's it called? Title and
This right here.
what do I call it? No, the name of the name of the company and title are in the same line. I don't like that too. Like Woodbine Mall and Fantasy Fair,
Oh,
and then
this.
Toronto Ride Operator and Customer Service. Or yeah, custodian and that as well.
Also, this 10 hours a week. I don't care how long you worked there per week, bro. Like, it doesn't matter to me. You don't like 35 hours a week. 35 hours a week. It doesn't matter to me. Just FYI. Also, the titles of these sections are not bolded, but these are. Like, bolding is the number one hierarchy thing. That should be
Yeah,
bolded.
and I don't think I've ever seen where the divider is above the heading. So it should be paid work. It should be work experience, not even paid. Just do work experience and then divider.
Yeah, don't put paid work ever. Paid just sounds very like. Paid sounds very like lowly. I wouldn't. I just put work experience or just experience.
Yeah, and also the 35 hours a week, you don't need to tell them how much you worked. Like, just get rid of that. You don't
Yeah.
need to, like, clock.
Also,
It's not
no.
clock in, clock out.
Look at that.
Oh, second page.
Second
Oh,
page.
there we go. At the bottom, I hate that. Get rid of that. By
I've ever-
submitting this resume, you gotta put your hand up for this. You gotta like actually have your hand up and like.
Put your hand on your heart, and I solemnly swear. No,
Nah,
yeah,
get rid of it.
yeah, no, yeah. We're only roasting it as a general resume. We do know that it's for co-op. So, but if this was a real
Yeah.
resume, so yeah. Otherwise, next resume, last one, I guess.
Yeah,
Or
let's do it. Last one, I guess.
cool.
So.
Let's do Roshni.
Hi, Roshni. Okay, 2 column right here.
Why is this lowercase?
1-800
What is
niche.
this? What is
Yeah,
this?
ew.
What is this?
Okay.
Why is this? Are you texting me? Like, why is it lowercase? Like,
How
bro.
is your name capitalized, but the headings are thing? Okay.
Yeah, this alternating between like lowercase, uppercase, and title case is really bad. I just it's
Hold up,
so all over the
please.
place.
I don't know what's going on. You have, yeah, this is bothering me. You have Wilfrid Laurier University in uppercase. You have your whole degree in uppercase, but you have your high school too. But you're all over the place with this. You need to move this. First of all, systems analyst left aligned and date should be right aligned. Like it shouldn't be centered at all.
Yeah, this is the
Because
most
if you look at
important
the
thing.
bottom, junior web developer is not aligned with systems analyst. No, it's pissing me off now. So
Also, again,
kind of
left.
looks
Your
problematic.
eyes naturally look left to right. Left top should be the most important part of this section. The most important part of this experience is not that you started working in September 23. It's that you were a systems analyst at
Yeah.
OpenText.
Because half the time, even though when we put dates on the right side, people don't give a shit about the dates. They're like, okay, cool. Like, so right align, sorry,
Oh,
left
it's a
align those things.
two-pager. Oh no.
Oh no, no, there's so much white space though.
There's so much white
Why,
space.
like,
Your name and basic contact information is taking up a fifth of this. Wait, is this page? I
hold up. Why do we have a middle school in here? This,
I was about to
yo,
say,
you are
why
a
is it
fourth
middle
year.
school, bro? What is this? What is
Ooh.
this? Also, you're not an executive. You're an executive, but like you're a VP of events. Come on, Rushy. Like you're like you're really underselling yourself here. Like you're really underselling yourself here. Also moving on. Let's keep going down a bit. Um,
Okay, hold up.
like this skill section can be on the okay. First of all, this entire resume is a one pager. Just FYI.
Yeah,
Hundred
easily.
percent, easily one page. Like
Because this is bothering me. You have so much room on the right, bottom right side. Like, what is going on?
also like this, every heading for every job has so much space here. Like all of these,
Yeah,
way too much
I was about to say
space.
that.
That's like underutilized as well. Um, oh, you play a project board. That's cool. Um, this bullet point is really mid, by the way. Um, like, sorry, I'm just reading it. Cool. Yeah, assisted in the web development team with all aspects of website and application design, including but not limited to HTML, CSS, JavaScript. All this tells me is that you used JS and HTML, CSS, and Golang. That's all it tells me. This like the entire bullet point is wasted, basically. Assisted with the testing, quality assurance, and maintenance of backend and front end applications. This just tells me that you did testing. Like that is like again, these bullet points are very weak. Collaborated with designers to implement new web features such as self-service platforms to create your own web pages. Again, like these bullet points are very weak, I would say.
Yeah,
For this one,
yeah,
designed
no.
user interface components and logic for moderate complexity calculations using the AppWorks or low-code platform. Yeah, it's a better bullet point, I'd say, compared to any of these, but it's still weak. It's only an action, no challenge, no result.
Mm-hmm.
It's no statement, like nothing, you know. So yeah. Um. Also, yeah, I guess your relevant coursework is your schism from high school. Um, that's like you don't need relevant coursework for your high school. Um, I'm just saying. Also, I just realized that this section that I roasted earlier is for your high school too, so my bad. But I don't know if all this information needs to be listed for your high school. Also, your date for this is here. No date here though, or like the date here is formatted differently than this date. Then there's no date here. So, yeah. So anyway, anything else? Nish?
Worst timing for the lights to go out for me,
Oh,
but
rip.
no, yeah, no. I think pretty much it. This needs to be one page. Just there's a lot of white space that needs to be gone.
Cool. I think you want to call it there then.
Yeah, we'll go for some questions and then we'll call it there.
Cool. So, do we have any other final questions in the chat?
Other than more resumes, we're not gonna show you our resumes at the moment. It's too much work to pull it out.
It's not, but like,
I
question: can
mean,
I see your resume? My resume is pretty easy to find. It's public. It's on my website, so you can easily find it if you want it. Do we have any actual questions before we call it? L. Jake Sheep. I know it's on your desktop, bro. Talk about co-op external. Right, right, right. Okay. So basically, okay, I would definitely try to get into co-op, especially if can I look at the VOD later to review our resumes again? This session will be uploaded to YouTube within like a week, hopefully. And it'll be there forever, so you can always look at it. For Twitch, I think it deletes automatically after 14 or 30 days. So, but yeah, you'll be on YouTube permanently. So, um, real quick, um, for the question about co-op or external. So I think the first question was like, is it worth going to co-op at Laurier? Definitely apply to co-op, and definitely try to get in, especially if you don't have a lot of experience. It is really worthwhile being in an accredited co-op program for your first internship. It's very easy, like, a very good way to get your foot in the door. Whether that be due to the fact that you're in a co-op program, or it's easier to network with people, or you have more opportunities to network, or you have more opportunities in general. Try to get into co-op. If you don't get in though, it is not like a make or break thing at all. It's definitely a thing that's helpful and supplemental, but not in any way like, oh shit, I'm never gonna be successful. Time to swap into like geomatics or something else or data science. Um, Basically, if you don't get into co-op, it's always more like important to look for jobs yourself. Always like it's really easy to look for jobs too. There's LinkedIn, which has like literally millions of jobs. Indeed, all these other websites that have jobs, and you can always like if you want to like kind of be in the same cohort, quote unquote. You can follow the co-op calendar by applying to internships the same time co-op students would as well. Or if you don't want to do that, you can also not do that and just do it every other like semester instead. It's not that hard like to do it on your own in terms of like what you need to do. The hard part is getting into like getting an actual interview and stuff. And in that aspect, like it'll take you hundreds and hundreds of applications, even for like niche and stuff. And for us, like it took us like hundreds of applications at the very beginning for our first internship, even with all the experience that we
Mhm.
had in extracurriculars, to get our first few interviews. So don't feel bad if you're not in co-op, but regardless of if you're in co-op or not, you're gonna have to put in a lot of work to even get one interview. So yeah. In terms of like people saying it's not worth it and you should drop it later, again, those people are pretty biased. Like even when I dropped co-op 2 after the first semester, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't take it. I still say you should definitely take it if you don't have experience. If you have a lot of experience, even nowadays as a high schooler going into first year, even that's like not that uncommon anymore. Like even looking at LCS applications, there's a lot of high schoolers who have like software intern experience somehow. So I would still try to get into co-op 100%, even if you do have a lot
Yeah,
of experience. So
yeah,
dropping co-op is
exactly.
because of circumstance. Exactly. Like I dropped it because I personally didn't feel like I needed it after the first one. But that's a very personal thing. Like I knew I could put in the work to apply to jobs on my own and all that stuff, and was all like I'm well connected, whatever. Or like you might be in another situation where you might have like family members in different companies that you can easily get into a job with. That's totally fine too. Nepotism, nepotism. Okay, like it's nothing to be ashamed of. Use your connections. So
100%.
yeah.
Yeah, even like for one of my experiences too is like after doing co-op, like I've done the 3 co-ops that our school provides us with, and then now I've done 2 additional co-ops on that. So I'm on my 5th internship now. So definitely recommend doing co-op, get those connections up, and then returning to that company later on for another co-op if you can.
But yeah. Any other questions you guys have? Can I DM instead? You definitely can. If you do want to sing us, like me and Nish both, right, review a lot of people's resumes outside of LCS too, just in general, like our friends and
Hmm.
stuff.
Yeah.
So you can definitely drop us a DM on Discord. I'm Big N and he's Nish on the LCS server. So yeah.
Yep.
Otherwise, any other questions?
Um, I, I did see one more question I want to go over. For public resume on website, should you include phone number and city and address? You can add your don't okay. First of all, not the address, not the actual full address. City, sure, if you're comfortable with that, and you can add the phone number if you also feel comfortable. If you want people to reach out to you. I personally do it. Like I have my phone number on my resume, and if it's on my website, it'll be my number will be there. So I don't mind it at all. But it's down to your personal preference, but definitely not your real address.
Yeah. What you said.
I really want to see how you managed to put 5 co-ops on your resume. Nish, you should show it.
Also, I missed a ton of follows, so I'm just gonna quickly go through all those. Uh, Thanks for all the follows from the last like 2 hours. Appreciate it. Yeah. But do you have any other questions before we call it? Oh my god, so many follows to go through. I guess there is no other questions. So again, please make sure you sign into the event if you are a Laurier student. And thanks for all the follows. But if that calls it, I don't know. Dish, do you want to show your resume? Everyone keeps saying to show off your resume. I don't know if you want to.
Okay, I'm putting it on right now.
Okay, send it to me on Discord DMs.
Yeah, let me just change my number real quick.
Cool. There you go, guys. You did it. You guys harassed him into doing it. Also, while we're waiting for him, there is our socials. Please follow. I'll make Doug very happy. So, yeah.
This is my little older resume. It hasn't been updated in a while. This is prior to.
I can roast this one. Don't worry, guys. Since he won't roast
He's
it.
gonna roast me.
I'll roast him, guys. Don't worry. It says our socials, by the way. For anyone wondering. So, yeah. You sent it yet?
Yeah, I did.
Cool. All right. So, gonna quickly do that. All right. Oh wait, I need to open this in a 1 second. I need to open this in a thing instead. Downloads. Also, by the way, I completely forgot to mention this. I completely forgot. I always rename my resume to resume.pdf before I submit it. Please give your resume a good file name. It's a very small. Okay, this is something I completely forgot to mention earlier. It's really important to mention. A lot of recruiters will not care about your file name, but having a nice file name is like literally no work from you, and it just that very small little 1% thing that pushes it like in a positive direction is the fact that you made a nice name. Like what is new resume? What is resume screenshot? What is Donner underscore LCS underscore example? Come on, like pick better names. What's 2024 resume internships only? Like, bro, come on. Okay, so this is a Jake's resume template.
I gotta work on my bullet points.
You need a lot more white space between your headings. Same issue with all Jake's resumes. There's like too little white space between this point and then technical skills. And like same thing here, experience heading and your open text, like too little space there. Let's do through this. Blah blah blah. Cool. There's a lot of white space at the bottom. You definitely move the certs a little bit lower, and then the projects a bit lower too to give yourself a lot more white space in between. Design.
I'm not sure. We can't see our cameras. They can't see our cameras.
Can't see our cameras. That's quite odd. That's really weird. Is that good now, guys? Does that work?
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Cool. So also, some things here are just reading some bullet points. Or for all the peers at the end of your sentences. Incorporated libraries, comma, beautiful soup requests and Y finance to extract revenue and stock data for GameStop and Tesla. Why is there a comma here? Why did you do this? I don't like. Why did you incorporate libraries? And you just listed them, but like, why? What did you do with it? Like, these two bullet points can easily be combined into one, probably.
Yeah.
Because you use that data to build dashboards and Poly Library. Also, these projects need names, bro. Like, even if you just call it Stockify or some bullshit, give it a name, give it some personality. Like sports car analysis, house sales analysis, stock analysis. Like, come on, bro. You're really overusing the analysis. Should you put your name first or the word resume in the name? The file name specifically doesn't matter, whether it be Noshrao resume or resume-Noshrao or resume con. As long as it looks nice, the file name looks nice, it doesn't matter. But calling it like Donner underscore LCS underscore example looks disgusting, So, also your hyperlinked certs are good. Nice, not bad. TD Bank. Assist in the development or maintenance. Why is it or? Development or maintenance? Which one is it, buddy? Did you develop it or did you maintain it, or was it both? Like, which why'd you say
Yo,
or?
how did I miss that? I don't know how I missed that. That's crazy.
Development and side or maintain, bro. Comprehensive process for prevention of issues and participating in problem determination and timely resolution of incidents by applying appropriate quality measures. This bullet point is so many words, and you didn't say a single thing other than I saw issues and I solved them. That's all you said in this bullet point, okay? There's so many fluff words in this bullet point. Like, it's a bit too bullshit, you know? You need to, like, bro is yapping, bro. Bro is actually yapping. So over here you have your open text machine learning engineer, software engineer, business network, software engineer, research and development. Not bad. I don't think utilizing Postman to make REST API calls for efficient debugging of applications is like a bullet point. Like for anyone who doesn't know, Postman's an application that lets you just like put in a URL and you can test endpoints. I don't think this is worth its own bullet point, to be honest. Like it's slightly more higher level. This is the thing we talked about earlier, where this is a bit too specific of an example, I'd say, or too. It's like more of a ticket than a project or something or a problem to solve. But yeah, otherwise it's pretty good. Again, I'm kind of sick of the Jake's resume templates myself, but yeah. Also, this is a prime example. I do this too of how to display display hyperlinked data, like specifically content information, but also making it accessible by having it here. If I can't click on this or I'm printing it on paper, I have an inaccessible computer.
I'm not sure. Not
Yeah.
sure. You're blocking the view. They can't see it.
Oh, that is a great point. How do I fix that? I will move our cameras to the bottom. There we go, guys. There you go. Perfect. So over here, you can see it's in/nishtawari. So if for whatever reason they're on like a system that can't click on this or a pay-per-view, they can always just go linkedin.com and they can just copy paste /in/nishtawari. Same thing here. If they can't click on GitHub or they can't whatever, they can just copy paste this into their browsers. So yeah, that is pretty sick. Otherwise, I think that's everything here. So we're good. Not bad. You have a Bachelor of Science in
Not
Computer
bad,
Science.
but definitely can be improved on.
Yeah, definitely could be improved on. Especially since your most recent jobs have only 2 bullet points. Even though one of the leading principles in talking about your experiences is most of your experience can be told 2 bullet points. A lot of people say 2 bullet points. But your most recent
Yeah.
or your most important one should be way more than like it should be at least like 2 to 3, and it should be like deep, proper, fat bullet points. Not like this is like I'm assuming that since you're still working as a ML engineer here, this is probably the most like recent one that you could talk about in detail. And it's not a lot of detail right now. It's very weak. So yeah. Otherwise, yeah, that's it. Cool. Didn't do you work at Open Text? I don't think Donna knows if you work at Open Text as just you only wrote it you only
No,
wrote 4 times.
I wonder. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Is that it? We're calling it? Oh, I have the presentation on the other screen now. Whoops. Oh. There we go. Cool. What if you don't got any experience in the CS field? So, thanks for spamming. I'm trying to answer a question, guys. So if you don't have a lot of experience, like job experience, you can always include like projects and stuff that you've worked on or extracurriculars. Especially if you're in first year, you probably don't have any job experience at all in CS. Yeah, but if you're in first year, for example, I'm going to assume you are. Please list like any jobs you've worked at as like a cashier or something. Those are useful to show that you can put up with people's bullshit. You're like a patient person, especially if you did it for a long time. And also include any like extracurriculars you're a part of, whether that be like house council or like some clubs that you're part of, in any leadership position or any exec position, because that goes a long way to show that hey, I don't do stuff just for money. I just do it because I'm also passionate about different things in my life. So yeah, and always if you have tech projects, please include those too. So yeah. Also, we're not sorry, the type form was open for like a week, so or something, or like a few days, so we can't pull up resumes now on live. Sorry. But yeah, that is everything from us. I'm gonna quickly move our cameras back to where they were before. I don't know where to put them, to be honest. You just got Nish, guys. He's getting Nish. There you go. Cool. Anyway, yeah, I guess if that's everything. Whoa. Okay, never mind. We're good. Nish, you have anything to say before we call it?
No. I think we got one last question here for interviews for a job. Did you guys do a bunch of leak code questions to practice? Yeah. It really depends. Like, leak code. Like, I wouldn't like if you get an interview, you
Nish,
don't
Nish, the
like.
smile
I
for the
want to be
camera.
like, sorry. I want to be like,
There we
you
go.
can just like sit there and like delete code. Just use it to like
Oh,
practice on like
sorry.
some questions and stuff like that.
1 sec. I have to put myself back on screen for Jackie. Okay, smile for the camera real quick, Nish. Okay, cool. We're done. All right, continue.
Okay. Yeah. But leak code can help you like practice your, if there's gonna be like if you're in an interview, they might be asking you coding questions, and usually they ask it from leak code or like hacker rank or stuff like that. So definitely, use it to practice and work on beforehand. But I wouldn't like. I know a lot of people like say, "Oh, I have to do leak code like as a hobby." Like, I think you're stressing about it a little too much.
Especially as a first internship, the majority of companies that you apply to are probably going to be like not FANG, which obviously they shouldn't just be FANG for your first internship. That's crazy and kind of toxic. But for your first internship, you're most likely not even going to be asked technical questions, especially if you're applying to like smaller events. But if you are interested in getting better, like algorithm design questions and data structure questions, there's this one club called LCS on campus that runs this one event called Code and Chill, which is pretty sick for that type of thing. So. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, any other questions before we any other actual questions before we call it?
Yeah. Other than about my smile, guys, come on, I appreciate it, but
Okay, so let's stop thirsting
questions.
over Nish's smile. Come on. Cool. Anyway, that is everything.
Um, Before we end it, should we shamelessly plug our next event?
Yeah, go for it.
Uh, it is Code and Chill next Tuesday, I believe. Let me just make sure of that.
What do you think? Awesome. Let's.
But
Oh,
yeah, speaking of leak code, guys, next week you guys should come out to Code and Chill on Tuesday, November 14th at 7:30 p.m. That's where you can like team up with people in teams of 2 to 4 and work on some hacker rank questions that are set by the LCS team. So come on out. It's gonna be in the arts room in 1E1.
all right. Well, see y'all later. Make sure you sign up the QR code at the bottom right, and bye. Wave for the camera, Nish.